Hey everybody, it's Bob again, and I just want to say, like right off the top of the, you know, video here, that I am so very much in love with comics at the moment, and it's not a feeling that I've had in a very long time. The last time that I was this excited to go to the comic book store was when I was a kid, and I was following all the major artists at the time in the late '80s, early '90s. And then, of course, the biggest event that ever took place for a comic book fan then was Image Comics, and you know that ended up dying down, and it's just there was a time that I stopped because I had a house fire that destroyed my collection. It was a bit devastating, so it was really hard to want to get back into collecting comics. And then when I did, it was around the time that the new 52 came out, and I was a bit excited then because I felt like that was a good jumping on point. I could get on and start reading, but most of the time I was just I don't know, like the stories I was reading, like with Wonder Woman, right? Like I enjoyed it, but after 2 years, it was kind of just still running the same storyline, and it was I don't know. I just wanted it to move on so I could get something new at that point. And then I just ended up stopping collecting all of those books. So now when I go to the comic book store, things like this are there. And this is like the greatest thing in the world. So right here, as you can see, we're talking about Superman versus Wonder Woman, the Treasury edition. And just to give you an idea here, this is a supersized book. Here is a Vampirist Carmella comic, which is about magazine size. And then here we have your standard comic book. So you can see the difference in size between those books and this, right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive into this beauty that I'm like, just, I don't know. I read this the other night and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever, okay? So on the inside here, we start with a top secret file with a picture of Wonder Woman fighting Superman. And we have notes from like the scripter, the artist, the inker, the editor, and all that, talking to each other about this. So I thought that was kind of weird, but I think it's giving you a more creative way of saying who, was the artist and the writer and everything on this book, okay? We open up with a nice 2-page spread of Superman fighting some Japanese Zeros over an aircraft carrier. Obviously, this is taking place during World War II, okay? That is amazing. But before I move forward, I do want to mention that the artist here is Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Everybody, knows that he's like an amazing artist and everything. Perfect for a book like this. And this book has no shortage of great artwork in it, okay? So Superman is taking out these airplanes that, of course, are attacking, and he notices that there is he notices that they're on like automatic pilot here for like other kamikaze type stuff, but he swoops around and takes them out. Then he notices that underwater there is a submarine, so he bashes right through there. At first, I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, are these people, going to die? But no, apparently, Superman saved all of them, and they raised the sub just in time for a U.S. aircraft carrier to collect all the prisoners. Cut to Lois Lane speaking to an admiral, and she's kind of angry and kind of berating Clark Kent because she's just like, what happened to him? He was supposed to be here doing this and that. Suddenly, Superman drops down with one of the prisoners from the battle he was just at, and he lets the Admiral know that they have to have a word in private. And as they walk away, of course, it looks like Lois Lane did not like the idea that she's being kept out of this. Superman tells the Admiral that he received some news from this prisoner about something called the Manhattan Project, and he wants to know how serious that information is. Okay, the Admiral does tell him that it's a kind of serious thing. Superman comes back out and he's talking to Lois Lane when the Admiral comes out and says that they just received a call from the War Department and Superman has to get there immediately. So of course Superman takes off for Washington, D.C. Upon landing at the front door, the guards there are going to prevent Superman from coming in, but the person who called comes out and says, no, 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 he's able to come in. I like that these guards were like, how in the hell were we supposed to stop him? And the other guard's like, mister, let's face it, you'd rather not know. Yeah, of course, how were they going to stop them? Another just iconic double-page spread here by Jose Garcia Lopez. Wonder Woman swooping down on two people who are being attacked by Nazis. Right there in front of so yeah, it's again, this is just gorgeous stuff here, right? So Wonder Woman runs over to protect the two people, and she grabs one of the Nazis up and tosses him. And when she does, he explodes, and she's just like, oh my God, that man was wearing explosives. And when she turns around, she could tell that these people are kind of like zombies, right? And she knows that all of them are strapped to explode. So she jumps over them, lifts up this car to launch at them. And as you can see, when she does, they all detonate. Another car who was watching this battle take place zooms off. She is going to go after that car, follows it here to Washington Airport, okay? She then calls Steve Trevor because she has to keep up the appearances of her secret identity. And she has to let him know that Diana Prince will not be able to make this budget hearing that she's supposed to attend. And Steve Trevor is pretty upset about that. But again, she has no choice. So an hour or so later at Grand Central Station, we have Diana Prince walking through when she notices the men from the car. And she does a quick change behind some luggage to come out as Wonder Woman and capture these men who were assaulting someone. So she makes quick work of everybody to find out that the person they were about to abduct is none other than Albert Einstein. Okay, Wonder Woman hands Einstein off to some FBI agents that were there at the station, and she goes back to tell Steve Trevor about the things that took place. She's gonna, say she was a witness to it, that she just happened to be there. And Steve Trevor does not believe a word of what she's saying. So you can see her frustration here. So now she looks for a way to find more information about what took place. And to also, so she's looking for a lead that's going to take her to more information. So she goes in and takes out a file here that talks about the Manhattan Project again. So now she's going to go find the rest of this information. Cut to the Baron and the Samurai. So here we have Baron Blitzkrieg, and he is waiting the arrival of Sumo the Samurai. I feel like the writer there only knew two things about a Japanese person or Japanese culture, and that was samurais and sumos. So he just kind of combined the two. I don't know. Maybe sumo is a name. I didn't bother to look it up. I just felt that it was kind of a weird combination. But here we have an entire backstory of Baron Blitzkrieg and what took place with him. So I like that they, gave us that information and everything. He grabs Sumo here and takes him to his headquarters. And upon entering, they see that someone with a machine gun was trying to escape, okay? And Baron Blitzkrieg grabs the guy up and tosses him and lets Sumo know that his efforts at interrogation have been fruitless, and that he knows that Sumo has the ability to do something where he'll be able to get the information away from that man. As we can see here, Sumo actually uses like a mind power to kind of hypnotize the guy and get the information that he's looking for. Sumo's actually not happy with the information that he got, but he does relay it to Baron Blitzkrieg, okay? Now we cut to the War Department. Again, another 2-page spread here that is pretty awesome. All of these people in this room, uh, that's just great. I don't know. This whole thing here, and plus being in this size with the amount of detail that you can see and everything, I'm just, again, totally in love with this. Okay. We have Diana Prince here at the War Department, and she needs to get into this office. We can actually see that right here. This is Diana Prince here with this ultra top secret security classification required to get into this room with this guard here stationed. So she needs to think of a way to get in there, and she reaches into a fuse box and pulls out a fuse, turning out the lights. When she turns out the lights, apparently the guard panics and moves, and she's able to get into this room, discovers a file cabinet with a padlock on it, decides that that's probably the information she's going after, and it is. So she grabs the file on the Manhattan Project, and when she's trying to leave, the guard comes back in and could hear that somebody was in there, so she dispatches him in what she considers to be a safe method or whatever, and takes the information and leaves. Okay. Back at the office, she looks through this information, and we can see here that she's in total shock when she discovers what exactly the Manhattan Project is. Okay. Now we cut to Paradise Island. Diana here lands her invisible jet to see her mother for some counseling on what to do with this situation. She discovered that men have created an atomic bomb and that they're capable of destroying hundreds of thousands of lives indiscriminately. Okay. And she does not like the idea that somebody has that kind of power. And she's asking her mom what she should do about it. Her mother says, that she needs to take the time and think, and then her choice will become clear. Now we cut back to Metropolis, where we have Superman here landing on top of the Daily Planet building and reverting back to Clark Kent. So when he arrives in the office again, he gets verbally berated by Lois Lane, who is upset that she got back and he wasn't here yet. She thought that he had left the battlefield before her. So she's angry because she was a little worried about where he was. Okay. And of course, Steve Perry comes out here and yells at them for their bickering and tells them to get back to work, which they, seem to do angrily and quickly, until Perry comes back out with his catchphrase, "Great Caesar's Ghost. This is incredible." He says that he just received word that Chicago is being attacked, but it's not by Nazis, it's by Wonder Woman. So Superman is like, this is a job for Superman. So another gorgeous 2-page spread here. Just amazing. God, I love this book so much. Superman goes to Chicago, sees Wonder Woman destroying the University of Chicago with a lamppost. Okay. A lot of innocent people here that could be hurt. I think back when a book like this was made, they were looking for like any reason to pit two people together and or against each other, and you were kind of looking, both of them are heroes, so it's going to be hard to say, hey, how can I get them to fight, but also just certain things didn't, hit them. Today we would look at this and just be like, oh my God, destruction of property here, the potential injury to innocent lives and such. Okay. But she's just thinking about, I guess, the greater good at this moment. Superman says to himself, maybe I can calm this situation down here by speaking to her. But when he lands, she just whacks him straight across with this lamppost and throws him all the way out of the city. And when he comes out of the water, he's like, Wonder Woman hit me. She actually hit me. Even if she is a woman, no one treats me that way. I feel like he took that a little personally. Like he would think that nobody would ever try to hit him. That's weird, but he flies all the way back into the city and wallops her pretty hard, knocking her through the building she was already destroying. So it looks like Superman kind of helped her complete that task. But Wonder Woman gets up, and again, this 2-page thing here is just awesome. She gets up, flips him like a double flip to throw him right out of a window, right? Like she's angry, and she's like, I'm going to be a match for you because, besides my strength, I also have this, this anger here that that men have created this weapon or whatever, the potential loss of life and everything, throws him out of the window. You can see her anger here as she tries to explain to him exactly what's going on when the building starts to collapse and they both flee. Then Superman says that they need to find a venue to fight where they're not going to cause damage or injuries to innocent people, and Wonder Woman agrees. So she asks him where that could take place. But then we cut to a Los Alamos research compound. We can see Sumo here at one gate, I think waiting to infiltrate this compound. And we have Baron Blitzkrieg over here with a bunch of soldiers ready to do the same. Cut to Superman and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman in her invisible jet in space as they are flying to the moon. Again, when it came to superhero comics, and especially when it came to Superman, they were constantly just kind of changing the powers or adding whatever they needed at that time to make something work. Obviously, this invisible jet should not be able to fly through space with a propeller. So that's wild, but okay, it's an old comic, and that's kind of what I love about this, is that they're able to do this stuff. They land on the moon, and you can see here that there are some ruins from a pre-existing civilization. And Wonder Woman is just astounded with this. She's just like, first of all, I can't believe these microcommunicators you designed so perfectly, Superman. And then also these ruins and everything, but Superman doesn't give a fuck. He flies right down and punches her, okay, knocks her into those ruins. I feel like that's kind of a cheap shot. Superman, I wouldn't think is much of a sucker puncher, but it looks like that's what took place here. And then Wonder Woman did not like the idea of that, so she comes back with her own blow. Again, amazing artwork here. That is just gorgeous to look at. This whole picture, I want to kind of take this out and put it on the wall. I might have to buy another copy of this book to do that. She knocks Superman into these ruins, and Superman breaks these ruins and attacks Wonder Woman with it. Okay. Now we cut back to this Los Alamos research compound. We have Sumo here. Not being very subtle. He's like, I don't need to sneak in here. I will literally just go through the front gate. And he takes out the two guards. What looks like he slashes the electrified fence. And then here we have Baron Blitzkrieg. And we have two of his soldiers here to help boost him over the fence. Baron Blitzkrieg seems to have superpowers. So I find it weird that he needed help getting over a fence that isn't that tall, but okay. I just feel like there's more in this comic where he makes bigger leaps or something like that. But anyway, awesome artwork here detailing that bit of the story. We have Sumo here entering the research lab, and we have his target, which is the model of an atomic bomb. And he grabs that and makes his escape. Now over here we have Baron Blitzkrieg again, where it looks like this time he jumped out of a building that he's like, or one of the guard towers that he like completely destroyed. Grabs some of that. He's taking out a bunch of soldiers as they infiltrate this other research compound, and steals another model of an atomic bomb. So apparently they were at two different locations, and I'm sorry, I thought they were on two different sides of one. But it was two different ones that contain a model of the atomic bomb thereafter. We have a scientist rush in and talk to the military and tell them that this break-in just took place and that they have these models of these atomic bombs, and they're going to need Wonder Woman and Superman, but nobody knows where they're at until a scientist is like, they're on the moon, General. They're like fighting each other. Well, in the middle of this fight, Wonder Woman notices that she thinks she might be hallucinating. She takes a look at the Earth, and she sees these lights blinking on and off. And Superman's like, well, if you're hallucinating, so am I, because I see the same thing. And then they realize that the lights blinking are actually Morse code. And it's the United States trying to tell them, hey, knock off your shit and get back down here because we have serious stuff going on, and we need your help. So Baron Blitzkrieg gets back to his base, and as he is about to enter, we have his henchman's word come out and say that Sumo never arrived with his model of the atomic bomb, and Blitzkrieg believes that he's been double-crossed, and he's a bit upset about that. Here we have Wonder Woman and Superman back on Earth in Washington, speaking to somebody about the situation. And this person is alerting them that while they have not perfected the atomic bomb yet, the models are very dangerous. They do contain radioactive material and are able to explode. So they do need to get those back. So Wonder Woman and Superman decide that they're each going to go after a different villain and get that model back. So they take off. Okay. All right. So we now cut to Wonder Woman on her way to Japan. Now here's the thing. She is in an invisible jet. And it seems that that didn't matter at all because these Japanese Zeros saw her immediately and went to attack. So, I don't know, that's just weird to me. I guess you could make the argument that they just saw a woman sitting down on nothing and flying through the air. But I feel like that would be like a hard thing to see. But Wonder Woman does dispatch them pretty easily. And then we cut to Superman, who goes to Louisiana, where apparently... in New Orleans, where he believes that he'll find information on Baron Blitzkrieg. He lands in the city, and the first person that he talks to is, I guess, the town drunk. Now, we all know today that alcoholism is a serious problem, but back in the day, they would look at this drunk as just comic relief in movies, shows, and in comic books. So basically, that's how it's portrayed. Superman has many people he could have asked, but he comes over to the drunk and says, hey, have you seen anybody who looked like Nazis come by here? And the town drunk's like, well, I'll let you know for sure if you buy me a drink, And Superman's like, we don't have time for this. We need, I need this information. And the guy's like, well, if you're looking for anybody weird, you're in New Orleans, so of course everybody's weird, especially those people from last night. And Superman's like, what people from last night, right? So he tells them that they went over to, that mansion. And Superman is like, great, that's exactly what I need to know. I'll be back to get you that drink. So he flies in the direction of that and comes in, and he sees, these people here, they were apparently having breakfast. So now we cut back to Japan, where Wonder Woman immediately found Sumo's base. Apparently she knew exactly where that was. She lands, and Sumo is there, and she says, I need that reactor half. And Sumo's like, I'm sorry, but I can't give it to you. And she's like, I can take it from you if need be. We can do this fight if we have to. And Sumo's like, I don't wish to fight you, but I'm going to because I'm not going to allow anybody to have this weapon. Okay? The reason that this is happening in the first place is because he realized the devastating power of it and decided not to give it to Baron Blitzkrieg. Okay? Because no man should have that power. Sumo here goes through his history. We get a brief origin story about where Sumo got his morality, got his powers, is able to fight the way he does, and explain to her his honor. After hearing this, she's like, still it has to be done, so I'm going to be taking that reactor half. So she jumps, lunges towards him. He's able to flip her over easily, and the battle begins. Okay. Cut back to Superman here, who, boing, 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 in a matter of a few seconds, according to this book, he was able to take out all these people, of course, because he's Superman and they were just normal people. When he gets grabbed up by Baron Blitzkrieg, who punches him and knocks him across the room. This is what I'm stating later. Obviously, Baron Blitzkrieg has superpowers because he just hit Superman and kind of hurt him. Superman doesn't seem to take this one as personal as when Wonder Woman hit him. But he does shoot his heat vision at Baron Blitzkrieg. And the thing that gets me here is Baron Blitzkrieg seems very surprised. He's like, heat vision? For a damned amount of Amerikaner, you might have killed me. I'm not sure why Baron Blitzkrieg is surprised at that. They are on opposite sides. I don't think Baron Blitzkrieg would have any qualms about killing someone. So it seems weird to think that he would have a problem with somebody trying to kill him in that manner or be surprised by it. Cut back to Wonder Woman, who's still fighting Sumo and doing everything she can to keep up because he is a formidable foe. As you can see here, he tries to crush her with a boulder that she's able to shatter in half with her bracelet. Okay. She then decides that the best thing she could do is grab her magic lasso and try to tie him up, but he grabs the lasso and flips her around with it. She then picks Sumo up to body slam him, or suplex really, into the ground. It's amazing. Now we have Superman here flying out of the building with Baron Blitzkrieg. And of course we have the town drunk here again doing his comedy bit where he believes that this is a Mardi Gras parade taking place. But Superman is kind of flying Blitzkrieg into cars and everything as he just literally beats the living hell out of Blitzkrieg and then punches him again towards a bunch of innocent people, taking down a light pole. Okay. But it looks like Baron Blitzkrieg is finally defeated when an FBI agent comes out and he's got a gun pulled on Blitzkrieg, and he tells Superman that he was actually an undercover agent working under Blitzkrieg in order to get information. So Superman takes the Blitzkrieg and the half of the atomic reactor to a prearranged meeting place in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. When he gets there, Wonder Woman's already there, has Sumo tied up with the magic lasso, and you can see her half of the reactor is sitting there. Superman sets Baron Blitzkrieg down right next to his half of the reactor. Blitzkrieg apparently is not unconscious and uses some powers to activate his half of the reactor. Superman sees this, and they're shocked that he's able to do this. But apparently, I think what happened here is Baron Blitzkrieg, when he takes this, he can absorb the power from that reactor and uses his mental energy to hold Superman and Wonder Woman in place so they're unable to do anything. When that happens, we have Sumo here, who apparently got so angry at what's going on that he was able to break himself free of the magic lasso, something I would have thought to be impossible. So I guess that's just telling you how angry he was. He's able to break free, and he goes after Baron Blitzkrieg and takes him out. Baron Blitzkrieg drops the model. Superman uses his X-ray vision to have a look at the inner mechanisms of the model, and by doing so, he apparently turned the model into a bomb. They try to warn Blitzkrieg and Sumo that this bomb is about to explode and that they need to leave. And Sumo's like, no, you guys leave. I'm going to hold Blitzkrieg here. And he's not going to leave without taking that weapon with him. Superman and Wonder Woman flee just as the bomb explodes, destroying both of them, or so we think, okay? Another gorgeous 2-page spread here of Superman and Wonder Woman, okay? And then at the end here, we have Superman and Wonder Woman talking to the President of the United States, and Superman is asking the President to reassure Wonder Woman that they will never use an atomic bomb in war. And the President says that they never wanted to use that or never will. Superman is satisfied with that answer. Wonder Woman is not, especially considering that they do end up using an atomic bomb in war. Okay? But as you can see here, they're walking off. Wonder Woman not really trusting men to do the right thing. And Superman contemplating what she's talking about. And that's it. That's the end of Superman versus Wonder Woman. Another awesome picture in the back here. There's a nice 72-page comic here in Treasury edition size. Guys, if you like this video, please hit like. It helps my channel grow. If you want to see more stuff like this, hit subscribe. I'm going to be making more videos on the regular so that I can get my name out there for the comic that I'm making called Goose Girl. So guys, again, thanks for watching, and until next time.